Dear visitor, read your chart. This channel is designed to help you decipher your own chart's hidden meanings and live your life to the fullest. If you want to learn more about astrology and comprehend the hidden science in plain and straightforward words, please subscribe. In this video, we'll discuss the sun's impact on Taurus Ascendant in various houses of your natal chart. Let's talk about what your chart indicates if the sun is in a Taurus Ascendant's first house. When a native talks about his home or mother, it is clear that he has a sense of pride and vanity. Because the planet that rules the mother's house represents the father, she becomes a father figure for the native. Sun may display some annoyance in its interactions with mother, despite the fact that it is not in its favored sign position. It also demonstrates that you may establish power among your own country's citizens, which is advantageous for a political career. Now, let's talk about what your chart indicates if the sun is in a Taurus Ascendant's second house. It demonstrates how the native's ego and sense of pride grow as he works in the family company with his father. As the fourth house belongs to the mother and the sun to the father, parents here become a source of prosperity. In family concerns, the mother has an equal voice. Gemini is the business sign, thus anyone engaging in family business is plainly doing so. Now, let's talk about what your chart indicates if the sun is in a Taurus Ascendant's third house. It demonstrates how a person's personality and sense of self-worth grow as a result of his interactions with those around him, demonstrating the importance of siblings in a person's life. It demonstrates how someone can be extremely emotional and sensitive in their communication style yet still being able to elicit respect and authority. Both a person's parents could be successful business people. Now, let's talk about what your chart indicates if the sun is in the fourth house of a Taurus Ascendant. It demonstrates that even when a person has positive relationships with both their mothers and fathers, there are times when the mother also serves as a father figure. It demonstrates that the individual is deeply committed to his family, house, and ego. Person feels obligated to their parents and their house. Politics is a field that can lead to a successful career. Now, let's talk about what your chart indicates if the sun is in a Taurus Ascendant's fifth house. Given that Leo is the sign of creativity, the sun is the origin of all creation, and the fifth house is creativity itself. This indicates a highly creative individual. Therefore, this person can have a propensity to work in the theater and dramatic arts. Sun also destroys the house in which it is located at the same time, illustrating how creative endeavors can have a negative impact on one's chances of receiving a decent education. It demonstrates the person's high level of perfectionist tendencies in his artistic activities, while also highlighting the numerous challenges their parents faced in daily life. Now, let's talk about what your chart indicates if the sun is in a Taurus Ascendant's sixth house. Sun's proximity to its actual debilitation degree indicates an extremely tumultuous relationship with the father. We can claim that father is neither non-existent nor present in life as an adversary or impediment. It also demonstrates that the native's parents have serious medical conditions. It also demonstrates that if a native engages in conflict or encounters opponents, he must accept defeat, and this leads to a loss of confidence in person's life. However, a conjunction with or an aspect from a benefic planet can radically alter the scenario. Now, let's talk about what your chart indicates if the sun is in a Taurus Ascendant's seventh house. Due to the sun's karmic sign of Scorpio, it depicts a difficult and transforming relationship with parents and spouse. Your relationship with your husband went through a lot of erratic fluctuations, which demonstrates how much your parents tried to meddle in your marital life. It also demonstrates that the individual has a large ego, which leads to relationship conflicts. Now, let's talk about what your chart indicates if the sun is in a Taurus Ascendant's 8th house. This demonstrates that the individual is highly interested in higher learning and investigation into the occult, secret subjects, and higher philosophy. This demonstrates that parent child relationships undergo transformational phases, which means that sometimes they are excessively wonderful and other times they are forgettable. As the sun is in the 8th house, it indicates that a person experiences a lot of turmoil in their early years before eventually finding his or her genuine sense of self in their 30s. Additionally, it demonstrates that person's profession is with the government's secret agencies. Now, let's talk about what your chart indicates if the sun is in a Taurus Ascendant's 9th house. Given that the sun is your enemy and the sign of limitation and restriction, it indicates that your father only gave you limited affection. There were frequently ego conflicts between you and your father because of how stern and disciplinarian your father is. It wouldn't be unfair to imply that the father and the child would view one another as enemies. It also demonstrates that your higher education was provided by strict and powerful individuals. It implies that the father might be employed by the government or a law enforcement agency. Now, let's talk about what your chart indicates if the sun is in a Taurus Ascendant's 10th house. It demonstrates that your parents, particularly your father, are in a highly authoritative position in the corporate world. In your native country, people look to you for leadership. This may lead to a successful political career. It demonstrates that his mother is just as resilient as his father. However, Sun is also an adversary sign and burns the house in which it is placed, indicating a distant relationship with the father. Now, let's talk about what your chart indicates if the Sun is in a Taurus Ascendant's 11th house. It suggests that your parents, particularly your father, are in a high ranking position in a significant business. Additionally, it demonstrates how highly spiritual and imaginative the native or his parents are. As the sun represents the government and the fourth house is occupied by the people of the country, this opens the door to a political career and the possibility of obtaining a senior position within a domestic government agency. Overall, though, it's a solid position for benefits financially. Now, let's talk about what your chart indicates if the sun is in a Taurus Ascendant's 12th house. It suggests that because sun is exalted, your parents are residing in faraway countries and you have benefited greatly from them. It demonstrates that parents are very spiritual people. It undoubtedly provides a job in foreign countries or MNCs. This person may work in the medical sector and in hospitals, or he may hold a position of authority with the government of another country. I appreciate you watching this video and I hope you learned something new today.